Hello and welcome to Novel Knits. My name is Dehnel and this is episode 58. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm sorry I've been away a little bit longer than I intended. Everything's been really busy from the holidays on, and I'm not really a winter person. So finding motivation to do anything other than the bare minimum it's not great in January and February. So I'm back. Happy New Year, if it's not too late to say, on the 31st of January. But yeah, you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Novel Knit Girl. And I did set up a bluesky account. I'm still finding my way on there, but if you are on bluesky and want to connect, I just created my account under my name, so it's Dehnel, D-E-H-N-E-L. I'm not going to have any show notes below today. Full disclosure, I've tried to record two times before this, and it has not gone well. And I feel if I don't just push through this and get it uploaded, it may never happen. So no show notes today, but if you have any questions about anything, just leave a comment below this video, like, subscribe, all the YouTube things, and thank you so much for being here. I hope you're all doing well. It has definitely been a busy time. I will give you the vital few really quick. My dog is here, so you may hear her. Today is my son's birthday. He turned 14. Milo is 14. He was really little when I started this channel 4 years ago. I mean, I guess 10, but compared to 14, that seems really little to me. And my husband's birthday was yesterday, so it's birthday week in our house. And today my daughter, Claire, who's 16, got on a bus to go to state. Her dance team made it to state for POMs, hip hop, and jazz, and we're gonna be leaving early tomorrow morning to go cheer her on. So yeah, it's a busy time, and she's had competitions almost every weekend in January, and starting before the holidays as well. And it's so busy with this dance season, and then after this week she gets a week and a half, and then she goes to Florida, and then it's all done. And then her junior year of varsity dance will be complete. They had a really nice send-off at her school today. The drum line marched them through the halls, the students came out, parents were there with signs. I mean, it was pretty embarrassing for the girls, but it was a lot of fun for us. And yeah, we're excited. So they're hoping to do pretty well. We'll see how it goes. All right. Yeah, we're not going to talk about how I didn't reach any knitting goals last year because, I mean, y'all, if you watched last year, just know it didn't happen. So we're just going to breeze on through that. I do have a few goals for this year, not very many. Basically, I want to keep learning new techniques and kind of leveling up the finishing of my knits. If something's not going great, if I don't like the gauge or I don't think the fit's quite right, frog it back or frog it all together. Don't continue pushing on with projects that aren't going to work. I think I'm very guilty of this. I get to a point where I'm like, I just want to get it done and then move on to something else. And you know, that's fine, except if it's a garment that I want to wear. So yeah, so I just want to level up my knitting a little bit and so like if a pattern says do a tubular cast on or tubular bind off, guess who's going to learn that this year? I already learned one new skill, and it's a silly one. I learned how to do wrap and turns. I don't think I've ever done wrap and turns before in my life, and they're very easy. So one new skill acquired already. I would like to keep using from stash as much as I can. I did buy some yarn recently, and I'm actually going to show you today because it's the only yarn I'm really planning to buy this year. I'm really hoping to continue to stash down, and I'm actually going to de-stash some of my yarn as well. Not like a huge amount, but just some yarn to make me feel in control a little bit. Sometimes when there's yarn and project bags exploding all over my house, it brings me some anxiety. So every couple of years I decide to do this. You know, like I'm going to cycle through some of my stash. If I don't see if I bought it for a certain project, or maybe my tastes have changed, I'm going to try to de-stash some of that yarn. I will be putting it in my Etsy shop, so I'll try to announce that on Instagram if anyone's interested. I think we will ship worldwide, but I'm not positive. So I will put that on my Instagram post if and when I get there. I have taken pictures. I just have not done the work, the uploading, because it's January and I have no motivation, but I will get there because I would like to make some room for some of the new yarn that I got that I will show later if you're interested. I'll finish my goals and then I'll go through quickly what I'm going to talk about for the rest of this episode, just so that you know what to expect. I'm not going to do any make-alongs this year. I think that while I enjoy them, they also bring me a little bit of stress. And this year, I just want to have a stress-free year. I'm going to do monthly goals instead of big goals for the year, because I cannot stick to a yearly goal in any... Sorry, there's some weird noises. My dog is chewing on a bone, but it's windy outside and it sounds like something might be hitting the house. But yeah, I love making big sweeping goals. I never reach them. So I think monthly goals are the way to go for me. I also want to read 100 books, but I want to use my library more. I'm trying to move away from purchasing books as much as I do, because there's so many noises right now. Sorry about that if you can hear them. Because there are some books I want to have because I do like to reread books, but I don't need to own them all. I mean, books do love me and they want to live in my book collection, but I need to let go a little bit and use the library because it's free. All right, so what we're going to talk about today, I'm going to talk about what I'm wearing, and then I'm also going to talk about, I have winners. I have Shop Your Stash 2024 winners to announce, yay! And I also have my 4-year Podiversary winners to announce. So that will be happening at the beginning of this episode. I hope you'll still hang around even if you win, but if you have to run, that's fine. I then will have some finished objects. Unfortunately, most of them are going to be pictures inserted because they were gifts or I cannot find them. And then I'm going to talk about some works in progress, what my whip situation looks like starting out this year. And then I'm going to show some yarn that I purchased, and I am going to do my book club. And I read a crap ton of books, so I'm going to go through them really, really quickly. I mean, I think I might have read 19 books since we last spoke, so I'll go through it fast. So if you're not a book club fan, just know I will go really, really quickly. I will touch on a few books that I either really liked or really feel some way or other about, but for the most part, I'll try to go through them pretty quickly. So I'm wearing my Felix pullover today. The designer's name is escaping me, but it's a very, very famous pattern. It's got, I think you can maybe see the raglan detail. I made this in black yarn, so it's just, I wanted a basic kind of roomy black sweater to replace a really cheap one that I'd purchased from Old Navy. It's not perfect. I think there's a little too much fabric right here. I kind of had, I don't know. I know I did something. I think I added an extra repeat here and maybe I shouldn't have. I don't know. The gauge is really nice. The yarn is really nice. I really like everything about it, but this gets me a little bit. It's all I see when it happens. So anyway, but I wear this quite a bit, so it doesn't stop me from wearing it by any means. And yeah, Amy Christoffers is the designer, so feel free. I've knit this twice and I love this pattern. I've knit it twice. I don't knit sweater patterns twice very often, but this one I've been really happy with how it wears very sweatshirt-ish, and I wear a sweatshirt almost every day of my life. As I said, I tried to record this before a few times, but it was very, very boring. So I pulled these winners a few weeks ago. I hope I don't mess this up at all. So for Shop Your Stash, we have 2 physical prize winners, and then I have 2 pattern prize winners. So let me pull that out. All right, Shop Your Stash. So exciting. Thank you again to everybody who participated in this make-along. I had a great time. I hope you did too. You guys all really inspired me. I don't know how many things I added to my dream knitting list just based on what you guys made. So I hope that you had as much fun as I did knitting from your stash, and keep knitting from your stash and let me know what you're knitting on. That's the one thing about not hosting make-alongs that I will miss, is I love seeing what you all work on. So my first winner is, well, they're winning this Knitting for Olive book. These 2 adorable yarn koozies, I never know what to call them. And these 2 skeins of ample fiber yarn. And so that winner is Claudiasknitting. So congratulations. If you are a winner, please send me a message on Instagram or Ravelry and send me your mailing information. If you win a physical prize, if you win a pattern prize, we'll get to that when we get to that. But if you are this winner, please contact me on Instagram or Ravelry with your mailing address, and I will get this to you as soon as I can. It may take me a little while just because I have a busy couple weeks. All right, the second Shop Your Stash winner, who is the recipient of this 25 Weeks of Knits by Lina Publications, 2 more yarn koozies, and 2 skeins of ample fiber yarn. The winner is Karnesee, Karnesee. So congratulations. Please reach out to me, send me your mailing information. I'll get this out to you as well. And I really wish I could give you all a prize, but I am not made of money. So I randomly selected 2 pattern prize winners. And if you are a pattern prize winner, please reach out to me on Instagram or Ravelry and send me any pattern from any website that will allow me to gift a pattern to you up to $10. And I would love to give that to you so that you can keep using your stash. So those winners are Knitnat and NancyMcknitter. So thank you so much and congratulations. Okay, and then I also have my Podiversary prize winners. So this was to celebrate my 4-year Podiversary. It was also 500 subscribers, but I lost a few subscribers, I think because I had some politically charged knits in my last episode. It's fine. Nancy from KnitSipHappy, Nancy Wheeler, she generously offered to gift 4 of her sock patterns, so it's a winner's choice. So I chose 4 of you who used the word socks in your comment on my last episode, and yeah, here are the winners. So reach out to me via Instagram or Ravelry and I will send your name to Nancy and get you guys in touch. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't told Nancy I was drawing the winners yet, so just reach out to me and I'll make sure you get your prize. So these winners are Teresa Knitting Dancer 9052, and this is your YouTube username. Vicky Shaw 374, I know Vicky. Zebra Yarns Yarn 3911, and Nancy McMahon 4640. So thank you so much for watching and commenting on the last episode, and yeah, get in touch with me and we'll get you your prizes. Okay, I need to start talking about yarns so you guys stay. All right, let's get into finished objects. I'm gonna go through these kind of quickly because I think you've seen most of them before and I don't have most of them with me. So we're gonna go kind of fast. All right, so the first finished object I have for today are the socks I finished for my son Milo for Christmas. So these are his Lake Life socks, and I'm sorry I did not grab a sock blocker today. The yarn I used is Nomadic Yarns in the color Lake Life, which is why I'm calling them Lake Life socks. I did a Fish Lips Kiss Heel, magic loop, 64 stitches, and yeah, these are great. He likes them, but I feel like he doesn't love this color palette as much. They end up in his, I don't see him wear these as often as he wears some of the other socks I've made for him, but I love them. I think they turned out really nicely, and yeah, the striping worked out really great and they fit him, so I'm happy. Those I started on October 24th and I finished them on December 12th, and that was stash yarn that I used. Next I made a scent cowl by Carissa Browning. This was, I ended up not being really happy with this finished object, to be honest. I don't know if it's the yarn I used. I don't know if it was the pattern. I think if I'd had more time, I would have been able to play around with it and maybe make it fit a little bit better. So I was gonna make this for my sister, and then I ended up giving it to my friend more locally because I just knew that my sister wouldn't like it based on how it turned out. So this is, the yarn I used was Leo and Roxy. I think it's called their Basics in the colorway Queen's Navy. And then I held that with Neighborhood Fiber Company in the colorway Easterwood, which had a lot of variation in it, which looked really nice. And then I had a mystery DK yarn in my stash that I used for the light color. And I started this cowl on December 4th and I finished it on December 16th. So actually it went pretty quickly. Like I said, I wasn't overly impressed with the results, but I will put a picture in here. And I think my friend Julie she thought it was a fun thing, so she's happy with it. Okay, and then I made 13 tiny sweater ornaments. If you look on my Ravelry, which I will just throw a link to my Ravelry below in case you want to look up any of these projects, but because I'm kind of in a time crunch, I'm not going to be listing out all of the, I'm not going to do show notes today, I guess. But I will insert pictures of this, and I will have a link to my Ravelry if you want to check out the designer. I cannot pronounce her name, which is why I am not going to say it. But I made 13 of these tiny sweater ornaments, and I used all scrap yarns, and I made them between December 3rd and December 20th of 2024. And I will say I was addicted to making these little sweaters. I loved them. I would definitely use this pattern again. I would love to make a little tiny sweater garland of these. I just loved everything about them. So they were great. If you're looking to make a little ornament for the future, I would highly recommend this pattern. Okay, here are some pictures. Okay, now here's something I can show you again. I ended up making my daughter Claire an Oslo hat by a Petite Knit. She did not really like my socks for a long time. And I knew she wanted a white hat with a gray pom-pom. And I was looking at patterns and I just wasn't finding anything I liked. And I was like, you know what, let's try the Oslo hat. You guys, I love this hat and I'm gonna make one for myself. And I think this is going to be my new go-to hat recipe, or not recipe, pattern. I just loved knitting on this so much. The way it is constructed, there's it's a really, really thick brim. So it's triple thick. Yeah, because oh my gosh, it was a while since I made this, so I'm feeling a little off. You start knitting stockinette in the round, and then you do it for a long time. And then you fold it up on itself, and then you do a couple you do a little bit of purl, a couple rows of purl. My gosh, my words about this are just not happening. And that gives it a triple thickness around your ears, which is really nice. And then it's great. And then I chose this pom-pom from the Grocery Girls store. Again, it's not a white hat with a gray pom-pom, but it's pretty awesome. The yarn I used is Knit Picks and Dean Treasure in Horchata Heather. And this, I will say, is probably not the best hat yarn because I think it's gonna grow and grow and grow, but it's so soft and it was what I had, and she's gonna try it. And I will make this again if it doesn't work for her. She hasn't been wearing it, but I'm not reading too much into it right now, but I'm really happy with it. So if she doesn't like it, I'll wear it. Okay. And then I started that on December 11th and I finished it on December 23rd, right before Christmas. Okay. And then these were my last Christmas gifts, I believe. I finished 2 pairs of cranked sock tubes that I turned into socks for each of my parents. I literally was doing these down to the wire. My dad's, we had Christmas Eve dinner. I hosted at my house. We made crab legs and walleye and all this homemade bread, and we're Scandinavian, so like lefse, sliski, holska, kolache, like those are the types of things that we make. And then I try to make a green bean casserole or something that we feel like we have some form of vegetable. But yeah, it's a lot of potatoes and a lot of bread, which is my happy place. But yeah, anyway, after I hosted that dinner, luckily people left fairly early and I finished the last toe on my dad's sock and got it ready to go under the tree for him to open on Christmas morning. And I was very proud of myself. So my mom's sock was a sock tube cranked out of Murray and Company yarn, and it was like a tweed base, and the colorway was vintage rainbow, and I really like how it looked on the toes. I was just really happy when it wasn't so stripy. And then my dad's was Fiber Seed, and the colorway was Balsam Range. Both of them were ecstatic, over the moon, so here are pictures of them. Okay, and then after Christmas, Nathan got one sock in his stocking for Christmas, and I finished the second one after Christmas. So these are short vanilla socks. I just did a heel flap and gusset on these. The yarn is Nomadic Yarns. The color is Evermore, and these worked out great. Nathan's very happy with them. And I finished his second sock on December 29th, so not too long afterwards. I literally, after Christmas, and I think I've said literally at least twice during this episode so far, but I was melted into my couch for about 3 days. I listened to the same book on Audible 3 times, and I just kind of knitted on this or played Candy Crush. I was done. I needed like 3 days to just become one with the couch. So this got finished during that time frame. Not very quickly, because I was mostly playing Candy Crush because I was so brain fried. Okay, and then I have one more finished object that I'm gonna insert a picture for. I would have had them, but I have no idea where they are. So I did learn, Claire used to not like my socks. Now all of a sudden she does. She's been going into my sock drawer and grabbing things, which I'm thrilled with. She can wear whatever she wants. But I had those fuzzy feet socks that were almost done, and I asked her if she wanted them, and she said yes. So I finished the fuzzy feet socks. It's a pattern by Forest City Knits, and I used Suburban Stitcher in Coal and Shell. So they were 250-gram skeins that I'd gotten from Suburban Stitcher a long time ago. And I started these actually on October 11th of 2023. And that was after I had pulled out a different sock I had started with them. So I'm so happy to have these socks completed. And then I finished them on January 5th of 2025. So this is my first and only finished object of the year so far. And I'm gonna insert a picture of them here. Okay, so that was so many finished objects that I did not actually have, which is really disappointing. So I won't do that again. Okay, let's get into whips. So going into this year, I have 24 current whips. I did frog 3 things. I frogged my muscle bra that I started with some really pretty sparkly yarn that I just wasn't feeling. I might take that yarn, hold it with mohair, and make a Oslo hat because I'm loving the Oslo. I also frogged my Manhattan hat. I just was not enjoying it. I did not feel like 1x1 rib anymore, so I frogged it. And then I frogged a Summer Secret crop by Jessie Made. I might make this again, but the yarn that I chose, there was no way that I was ever, I'm wearing a black sweater today. And this was like a real minty, speckly, hand-dyed yarn. And I just thought, unless I'm making this to sleep in, I would never wear this out in public. So I frogged those 3 things. And then I went through and I looked, and I have 7 garments on the needles. It's a lot. 7 blankets. That's a lot. 7 pairs of socks. It's a lot. 1 mitt, which I'm thinking I still am gonna keep on the needles, but I may restart with different needles. I think my tools are making them sloppier than they should be. So I'm gonna think about that one. And then I have 1 shawl and 1 scarf. So let's start talking about these works in progress. And I'm just gonna move stuff around. This is such a mess. Okay. You're seeing me in one of my most hot mess stages. I am so stressed out and excited about the competition tomorrow that I'm okay. So let's see. All right, the Snowfall Sweater Scarf. This is a pattern by Knititude, and this is a new cast on. You guys have not seen this yet. I believe my friend Nancy Wheeler made one of these for her daughter and did not enjoy making it. I will say this, I'm getting to a point now where I see where she was coming from, but I'm still not enjoying it. I'm just at a point where I'm like, okay, I think I'm past the point. I'm way past the halfway point, so it's going to get better soon, I think. If you have never seen this, I do have a picture. So this is the Snowfall Sweater Scarf by Knititude. She's so cute. I love that picture of her. Okay, so the yarn I'm using is Lion Brand Wool Ease in the color Icicle. So it's like a cool blue. And so, I don't know how I'm gonna show this. You start at a wrist and you do some ribbing, and then you go into the body of the scarf. And you'll see there's a pattern, and it starts out pretty concentrated, and then it gets further and further apart as you go. And there's some ribbing on the top as well. I have ends everywhere. And then you get into this section, which is the longest, where the purls are much, much further apart. So this feels very, very long. But I mean, it does go around you. Gosh, I'm gonna create a mess here. Does go like, I can't even do it. I'm gonna have to watch her video on how to style it. But like, yeah, this is not at all how this is gonna look, but you get the idea of how long it is, I guess. Okay, we're gonna stop doing that because that was a disaster. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this, but I do hope to finish it relatively soon. Because you can really enjoy making something and still want it to be done. That's where I'm at. But I do feel like this middle section, it was like 22 repeats and it was the longest repeat. Now I do the rest of it, those chunks back, and I feel somewhere deep in my soul like that's gonna be faster. I could be wrong. Nancy, tell me if I'm wrong. Okay. Then I have a pair of socks that I casted on. I casted the Snowfall Sweater Scarf on December 30th, and then the Gravel Path DK socks, which is a pattern by Twin Stitches, I started on January 2nd. So the yarn that I'm using is really fun. It's Tia's Terrific Threads, and the color is Pale Beneath the Tan, very summery yarn, but I just really felt like I wanted to use it. And here's where we're at. So here's the Gravel Path socks. You can see there's this pearl, knit and purl detail on the sides. I just did a Fish Lips Kiss heel. I think she does a German short row in the pattern, but this was before I made my goals for the year. So I was like, I'll just do a Fish Lips Kiss. I'm doing the shorty just because I'm not sure how far this yarn is gonna take me. But yeah. These are coming along great. I haven't worked on them in a while just because I've been busy doing other things. But yeah, these will come back out again soon. The thing I love about DK weight socks is they go so fast once you commit to them. I just have commitment issues with my knits. All right, and then I started a Pure Joy by Joji Locatelli. I've been wanting to make this shawl for ages. I've had yarn to make it for ages, and I just thought 2025, we're doing it. So in case you've never seen the Pure Joy, here it is. And the yarn I'm using is Hue Loco in a sparkle base. I don't even know if Hue Loco still does her glitz base, but I actually had gotten these in a D-stash, and it's Grocery Girls theme, so I think Big Sister and Little Sister, though I'm not sure which is which. I'm doing the scarf mainly in this multicolored yarn, and then this is kind of my trim color. And I don't know if you can see the sparkle, but it's nice. And I'm sorry if you hear that from my chair. This is my work chair. I sit in this chair all the time. I almost didn't show you the shawl. So I'm not very far, but this is the project that taught me how to do wrap and turns. So here's the front, and this is how it's coming along. So I just did the second, I'm starting the second wedge. So once you cast on, which, you know, I've been knitting long enough that sometimes it's exciting to go back and do a garter tab cast on and realize you still can. So you do the garter tab cast on and you kind of just do a little garter stitch, and then you start these wedges. And you can really see the wedges here. So this is where you're doing wrap and turns, and then you're creating a thicker fabric over here. And yeah, I'm just really happy with it. It's been a lot of fun to work on. I don't know, it's not a priority project for me by any means right now, but I am enjoying it. So this I casted on the 14th of January. One thing you may not know about me, I have terrible handwriting and I can barely ever read my own writing. So when I say the wrong thing or look down and I'm like, oh, what did I write? It's because I can't tell. All right, and then I pulled out a couple old whips to work on, which has been a lot of fun. The Zig Zag scarf. This is a pattern by Christy Cam. I started this on March 14th of 2024. That was a restart because I had started it before with a different yarn combination, and I decided I didn't like that. This I'm really happy with. So this I am using Leo and Roxy McSteamy in an MCN base, and then I'm using Mint Rain fingering weight yarn in the colorway Rebellions Are Built on Hope. And I know I say it every time I show this project because it makes me so happy, but that's a quote from Star Wars Rogue One, which is controversially my favorite Star Wars movie. And yeah, it brings me, the amount of happiness that this colorway brings me is really large. I can't say words apparently. Okay, so I have picked this up again. This is where around I was when I picked it up again. And this doesn't seem like I've gotten very far, but this is fingering weight yarn. So I don't know, I've put on a good 5-6 inches. I'm really happy with it. And so the way this pattern is written is it tells you to use 2 variegated yarns, but I did a solid and a variegated, and I'm really happy with how it has turned out. You could also maybe do 2 different striping yarns, or a solid and a self striping. That's what I started with, and I really like the concept of it. I just didn't like the colors I chose. So, but yeah, this is gonna be for me when it's done because I love it so much. Okay. And my last whip, oh no, I have 2 more whips. My Ozetta sweater, I've put some work on. I always call it my Ozetta sweater. Isn't that funny? It's actually the Port Sweater by Ozetta. I'm using Wool Dreamers Moda in natural and Bichembush mohair in the color gray. I started this on September 20th of 2024, and I am on the bottom hem. This has really slowed down for me, and I don't know why. I really want it. I want it a lot. I'm really happy with it, but I don't know, I've just slowed down on working on it. It is 1x1 ribbing at the bottom. And yeah, I mean, I have what, maybe 3 more inches of ribbing, and then I will move on. I don't love ribbing right now. So maybe that's all it is, but I am hoping to finish this by the next time we speak. We will see, we will see. So I'll talk about that more when it's done, but it's gonna be great. It's gonna be epic. I just have to finish it. Okay, and my last work in progress for today is my that's a hard one for me to say. Excavation blanket by Jana Pinota. This I'm using all scrap yarn, and I started this on January 17th, 2024. So I figured about a year later, let's pick it up, let's add some stripes. So I think I added 3 or 4 stripes to it, and this is another one that's just so much fun, but this is a very, very long-term project. I have 2 blankets that I would like to finish this year, and this is not one of them. I think when I finish, I'm going to cut the trim shorter, but for now I'm keeping the ends kind of long, just then I can change my mind if I want to. So you just add stitches and go back and forth with 1 stripe there, 1 stripe back, and then you just knot the yarn. I hope I like it. I hope it doesn't come apart, but the experience of using up my scraps like this is really fun, and it's so like retro or something to me. I just really, really like it. And I'm really sorry that my dog she's insisting that you hear her shake her head today. So this is in a bag with tons and tons and tons and tons of scraps. If any of you need scraps, I'm your lady. Just send me a note and say, Dehnel, I would like some scraps, and I will send you scraps. I have so many, multiple weights, and I think I learned a valuable lesson that I'm not going to be doing any more fingering weight blankets. It takes forever. So while I'm enjoying this, it is going to take forever. So I think going forward, anytime I do a blanket, I will be holding scraps double, which about half of my blankets are that, but half of them are also just fingering weight blankets that are going to take me forever because I don't focus on one project at a time very often. Okay, now I'm going to show you some of the new yarn. Oh wait, I have one other thing. I'm sorry. I did swatch for a new sweater. I swatched for a Seasons sweater. This is another pattern by Ozetta. I used some Lion brand wool ease that I had laying around, and I think it looks good. I did the swatch, I washed it, but I haven't measured it yet. But I think this is one of those sweaters that's gonna take a while. It is half fisherman's rib and a lot of purling, which makes for a wonderful squishy texture, but it's gonna be a really long knit, I think. So I might, once I have some needles available, I might cast this on and just get it started and hope for the best, you know, that maybe I can get it done within 6 to 8 months. We'll see. But yeah, it was fun to cast this on, and I love fisherman's rib. I'm one of those strange people that finds it really relaxing. But I know that this will be a longer sweater because basically it's taking double the amount of time to make actual progress on it. Okay. So that's all the knitting I've been working on lately. Now I will show you some yarn that I picked up. So if you don't love people talking about new yarn that they've purchased, skip ahead, or I promise I'm not gonna spend a ton of time on this. Okay, so I love Sonder yarn, and I just really wanted to buy some. And I found a sweater by Joji Locatelli called a Mabel sweater. And it is a fingering weight sweater that I thought would be really beautiful to work on, and it's got some texture, and I just wanted to buy new yarn for it, so I did. So this is called Bear Hug, and this is Sonder yarn in their Sunday morning 4-ply BFL, 75% BFL, 25% Masham, and it is beautiful and very, I mean, it's a good soft. It's a woolly soft, but I really like it. So I got 4 skeins of this. And then I have never made a ranunculus. I want to make a ranunculus. So I bought 2 skeins of Sonder yarn Halo in the color Ritual to hold with another yarn. It's an awesome purple color. You can see very deep. It's a little bit deeper than how it's showing up on the screen. But yeah, so I got these to make a ranunculus. So within the next 12 months, ranunculus is happening. Then there was this little pattern that came out recently called The Author by Jared Flood. And I need to make that. It's probably gonna jump on my needles soon because I adore it so much. And I was looking at all the projects to see what yarns people used, and someone had used Harrisville Designs Daylights. So I bought a sweater's quantity. And Daylights is obviously a lighter yarn with some color blown into it very subtly. And I got Bloodshot. So this has, I don't know, my lighting is totally gone, so I can't even really see. It looks a little purpley, but yeah. So I'm gonna make an author in this, and I'm really excited. As soon as I saw that sweater, I was like, yes, please, I need to make that. And then since I was making a Harrisville Designs order, I've been obsessed with this color of nightshades called Bloodshot. Is that right? No, that was the other one, Stiletto. It's black, but it reads very purple, and it's got pink running through it. It's so good. As soon as I got it, I was like, oh, yes, this is what I was hoping for. It is so pretty and I am so obsessed with this. So I'm gonna be making something with this yarn as well because it wants to jump on my needles. And the sun just came out again. Okay, so that was a lot of yarn, right? And then I made an order through Lion Brand. I sometimes get sucked into a good kit and I want something. Well, I wanted this exact sweater. So it is the Chelsea sweater. The designer is Whistle and Wool. And I thought, I bet I could make that this winter. It's Thick and Quick yarn from Lion Brand. And I want that sweater. I want that exact sweater. I love black and white. I just really wanted it. So I got a sweater kit with the Lion Brand Thick and Quick. The colors are Obsidian and, do you guys know I can't see? Wheat. So that is gonna be, I had to buy needles too because you use a size 15 and I don't believe I have a size 15. That's not like a hat size needle. So I did buy needles and so I think I'm gonna start this weekend. I'm really excited about this one. And then I ended up using the Lion Brand Wool Ease for my snowfall sweater scarf. That's not what it's called. Yeah, it is. That was I bought to make a sweater. I forget what it's called. But I decided I needed to replenish that sweater quantity. I probably really didn't need to, but I did anyway. And this is oatmeal. So instead of like that icy blue, I'm just gonna make that sweater in oatmeal, which I think will be really nice. It's like a waffle stitch. It looked really good. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So my plan is to not buy any more yarn this year, but I'm also not gonna like slap my wrist if I do. You know, there's no consequence for me if I do, but I definitely have enough yarn to make the projects that I really wanna make this year. And I just really, I haven't used Harrisville designs. I have another, I actually have a different colorway of the nightshades and I really want to use it this year. It feels so good and I'm just really excited about it. So, okay, that is it for the yarn stuff today, I believe. Yeah. So if you're only here for the knitting, thank you so much. I loved seeing you and chatting with you today. Please let me know what you're working on. And I will see you next time. And if you want to stay for book club, here we go. 19 books. Okay. So I finished Leather and Lark by Bryn Weaver. I gave that 4 stars. So this is the second book, and I think a third book is coming out maybe in March. I love her writing. They're a little bizarre. They're a lot spicy. There's a lot of trigger warnings, but they're so good. And again, her writing quality is really, really good, that she just really develops the characters so much, and I love them. They're a lot, but if you're open to something that's a little like serial killer-ish, but love story, go for it. Really happy with it. Butcher and Blackbird, I did like better than Leather and Lark, but I still really like this one. Ghosted by Rosie Walsh, I gave that 4 stars. I really liked it. It's a British author. This is the second book I've read by her, and I really like her. Yeah, it was really, really great story, and I would highly recommend it. I think if you look for it on Amazon, it has a British title, which is like The Man That Wasn't There, and then I think the American title is Ghosted. I could be wrong, but they're the same book. So, because I was really, really hoping she had another book that I could look into, but I think she only has 2 books and I've read them both. But really, really liked this one a lot. The God of the Woods by Liz Moore, I gave that 3 stars. It was really good. Multiple timelines, mystery, very good. Slow Dance by Rainbow Rowell. I like this. I gave it 3 stars. It started out in a way that I thought I was going to give it 4 stars. And my star system, for those of you who maybe don't remember or haven't heard me say it before, 5, I love it. I adore it. I would read it again. 4, like it a lot. Might read it again. Big fan. 3, I didn't dislike it. You know, maybe it wasn't memorable, or maybe I didn't love an ending or something, but still solid. 2, don't like it. 1, I wish I never picked it up. So that's my score system. And Slow Dance, I thought it was going to be a 4-star book, and it just kind of like pittered for me. The thing that I liked about it is that it did not follow the same recipe that a lot of like romancy books do, but then I kind of felt lost. Like I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop, and that's probably not a good reason to give it a 3-star instead of a 4, but it's still my reason. Okay, The Wren and the Holly Library by K.A. Lind, 3 stars. I had to speed this one up double time to get through it, and then once I got into it, then it was fine. It was a 3-star book. I think it's a series, and I don't think I'll read any more in the series. I did not like it enough. Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. I give that 3 stars. It was good. I like her. She's a real different writer, and some of her stuff I like more than others. This one I would say is my favorite book of hers that I've read, so it was good. Definitely a twist that I didn't see coming. Okay, The Sinners All Bow by Kate Winkler Dawson, 3 stars. Historical crime, historical true crime, really, really, really well researched and worth a read if that interests you. It is the crime that inspired the Scarlet Letter, so like super old and pretty interesting. Okay, Even Though I Knew the End by C.L. Polk, 3 stars. I thought it was good, very short story. I don't remember a ton about it right now, but I remember enjoying it. Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter, 4 stars, and Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter, 4 stars. These were young adult, and I really enjoyed them. No spiciness, really cute, developed characters, really just everything about it I enjoyed. So I would highly recommend those if you like young adult or just are tired of spice, because sometimes I am. I had that as a physical book, and I just couldn't stop reading it, and I gave it to my daughter, which she might read it in like 2 years because she's not much of a reader. Okay, and then Girl Abroad by Elle Kennedy. That was good. Love triangle, which probably is why I only gave it 3 stars, but overall, Americans in England, always something I'm willing to read. The Favorites by Elaine Fargo, 5 stars, so good. It is a diva of a book. It is so dramatic, so much figure skating. Every dramatic thing that could possibly happen happens, and I was there for every moment of it. I loved it. I actually thought that the author was a former figure skater, but she just did a lot of research, and there was only one thing she said that wasn't perfect. The rest of it was pretty spot on. So you don't have to know anything about figure skating to enjoy this book. I loved it, loved it, loved it. Loved it. Okay. The House of My Mother by Sherry Franke, 4 stars, really good, really sad, hard read. Yeah, you know, trigger warning, there's child abuse, but they handle it all very, very well, or she handles it well. Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros, 5 stars, I think. You guys, what happened if you finished it? I was there, I was loving it. The ending, she's got to stop doing this to us. I loved it. It was so good. It was so good. And then the end, I was like, what did I just read? I had to listen to it again because I still didn't totally understand it. But yeah, really good. Now I have to wait another year. Okay, Two Can Play by Allie Hazelwood, 4 stars. It was just like a little novella, and it was sweet, and I could have taken a whole book of it. I really did like it. It was kind of spicy. More spicy than I needed, but it reminded me of like a very rom-com version of Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, like people that create video games, and just really, really cute and creative. I liked it. Betting on You by Lynn Painter, 3.5 stars, not quite as good as Nothing Like the Movie, or Better Than the Movies, but still good, solid, so I would definitely recommend that one. Then I read The Love Wager by Lynn Painter, and I did not like that one as much. 3 stars, more spice, and kind of just frustrating, yeah, for a rom-com. Okay, currently I'm reading The Fake Mate by Lana Ferguson. I picked this up because I'm a little obsessed with Bride by Allie Hazelwood, and I think I Googled like, what to read if you're looking for another book like that. And I know better than to do those things, but I did it. And this book came up and I'm like, all right, well, I'm reading it. I have a physical copy of it and it's fine. It's no Bride, but it's fine. And then I'm reading The Wedding People by Alison Espach. And this book's a ride. I really enjoy it. I'm not done with it, but I would say I'm probably gonna recommend it. It's very good. And then I'm also listening to The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. This is a possible do not finish for me. I do not like it. I've read one or two of her books in the past and they've never been my favorite, but this is one that is making me uncomfortable. It's like watching someone get bullied. It's not working for me. So I don't know if I'm gonna finish it. I might give it one more try, but we'll see. So that is all the books I've read. I have 6 hours in the car this weekend, so I should get some good work done on a couple of my projects, and I'll probably listen to a book at least part of that time. And yeah, that's where I'll be. So thank you so much for joining me, especially if you made it this far. Let me know what you're reading. I love getting your suggestions. Even if I don't get to your suggestions right away, I always love having them. If you loved a book, chances are I'll want to check it out. So please leave your book recommendations below, as well as what you're working on. Thank you so much. And if you are a prize winner, please reach out to me. I can't wait to send you your prize. And yeah, thanks for joining me. Wow, this was a Midwestern goodbye if I've ever given one. But I was really not feeling great about recording today, and now I'm so glad I did it. So I'm glad to connect with you all again. And yeah, I'll see you next time, probably sometime in February. Bye.